Alright, you guys, what is good? I hope you can hear me clearly on this one. I ain't gonna lie, I had this whole video over because somehow this shit got corrupt. But you know what? I will use this as an opportunity to be more clear and concise on everything. So, dear, there's that. So, I hope y'all can hear me. I put my volume up this time. If I sound too loud, put y'all volume up. So, I'm making this video because someone on Discord, I'm not gonna I don't know if they want to be public or something, so I'm just keep their name anonymous. They actually went to me about how I should really discuss this and make a video on it because no one in the M.U.G.E.N community apparently has it, and how this is a topic that really should be discussed nowadays because not many people are discussing it, I guess. Or well, not real, or more like people haven't really made any videos discussing it or saying their thoughts on it and stuff like that, and how it's important to have this type of discussion. So, and they put in a pretty neat paragraph, and they were understanding about it and very convincing, but I ain't gonna care. So I'm like, you know what? Why not? And um, just to confirm, by the way, I'm on my phone. Just to confirm that this person isn't lying. He is right. No one is talking about their thoughts on private M.U.G.E.N characters. No one's talking about it. Like if you scroll, you're not gonna see anything. I'm scrolling my phone right now, and it's just shit that I'm about to bring up this video. Like this is a video 14 years ago. If you want to download private M.U.G.E.N characters for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, request any pack M.U.G.E.N games to be unpacked. Then go here. That takes me back. Okay. So, you know what? Why not? We making this video. Let's talk about it, right? What do you want to talk about today? I'm totally not referencing Cody Rhodes right now. So I already explained why this video is made. Now we're gonna go into four key points here before we actually really have the discussion, and that is to make sure everybody is on the same page and understands what the heck I'm talking about, because there is people in the community that are now discovering M.U.G.E.N through my channel and they're new. So I'm gonna make this newbie friendly for y'all. No cap. So I'm gonna put this into not four, three, three sections. One, I'm going to explain what a private character is, and then secondly, I'm going to explain what a leaked character is. Then third, I'm going to explain my thoughts and much more, but still expect me to still put a little bits, crumbs of my opinions explaining these things. So yeah, let's get started. So what is a private M.U.G.E.N character? A private M.U.G.E.N character is something that's like vaporware. If you don't know what vaporware is, vaporware is a product, you know, that's basically announced but never released. Yes, you heard that right. And that's what private characters, hell, even private screen packs, anything private for M.U.G.E.N, like private characters mainly we're talking about though, and private screen packs. So there's somebody named Nagi with a private screen pack, but he shared it with three people, and you never gonna even get it from them three people. That's the crazy part. So that's why I mentioned there's other private stuff in M.U.G.E.N as well. So with that being said, that's sort of what private characters is, but it's a bit complex because that's why I'm gonna be honest with you, this video. I'm gonna try to make it not too long, but it's still gonna be probably long anyway because there's still a lot to discuss when it comes to private lead characters. Because I know someone gonna say, well, it's not that much to discuss, but it is because it's a bit complex, and I'm gonna get to that and I'm gonna explain. So private characters is like I said, vaporware, but they're also used for other reasons as well. Private character is like vaporware, where it's not released to the public, but people tell you what it is anyway. People use not public, private characters. Jesus, I can't speak. And I drank some water before this. I should be able to speak. It's basically where private characters is not only like vaporware, but it's also like work in progress characters. So a character is private and the author confirms, yeah, I didn't release it because it's work in progress, then it's because it's work in progress. But people, like I said, to this day, they use private characters to exchange. So exchange for other private characters, like they did years ago. Like years ago. That's how people was moving for some reason. They would make these characters and be like, bro, is this character rare? This is private, and if you want it, you gotta give me another character that's rare and private. So that tradition is still being done to this day. Why? I even though M.U.G.E.N has advanced, I don't know why. But yeah, that's why. Like that's how they just operate. Private characters are also characters that's being sold. Now this is where I'm gonna put my opinion a little bit. You're probably wondering why are people selling characters that's using assets that's not really theirs and for a free 2D game fighting engine. The answer to that is, bitch, I don't know. I'm serious. I don't know. I don't know. Like either they don't want to have a job, either the bills is high, and they resort to doing that for some reason. But either way doesn't make it morally right, regardless. But that's what private characters are for, anyways. So let's talk a bit more on private characters. Private characters, depending on the thoughts of some of the members in the Mage community, they sort of get a bad rep because majority of the community believes that every character should be released, and I mean every, because after all, I sort of can't blame them because M.U.G.E.N is a public 2D fighting game engine, and but still, people who make private characters don't really give a fuck. They're the same people that they think that free shit should be paid for, or they really think their creations is lit like that, and that they you should exchange something else for it. So I can't really say much on that because I'll state my thoughts later on, more on that. But that's what private characters are. What I also would like to mention, because like I said, it's complex, and why it still continues to get a bad rep is because private characters are also lost media characters. Yes, you heard that right. You heard that correct. There are some private characters that should not be private because they were once public, but somehow over time they no longer became public because the link was either dead, the author don't do much no more, the author sadly something happened to them, and whoever got the characters, they either would just be head ass niggas and be like, "Oh, I got a lost media character and I'm not gonna share it." Sadly, there is people like that in our community where that's why there's so much lost media stuff in Mudging, because the link it's not only because the links are there, but there's genuinely people that are being jerks about lost media where they have the thing that is very needed from the community, and because basically it's just annoying to think about, and because basically people really wanted the person that somehow has it doesn't want to give it away. I don't know why. So what Noxie told me was that I guess people need a sense of fulfillment or something which is sad because they flex how they got this character that's lost and will never leak it because they're being assholes about it. Sadly, that's also a thing too, and that's why I say private characters are a bit of a complex thing to say because people also do that shit with private characters, especially lost media ones. Because lost media characters are also private to 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 an extent, but some really do be lost though. So that's why I say it's complicated. Now, there's also a crazy thing about the reason would this continue that we're still on the private characters topics because believe it or not, people there's problematic people in the Mudge community. We know that. And because there are problematic people that make stuff and make private characters, there was literally an instance on the Skyvesta Discord where basically there was this dude. I'm not even gonna say his name. I ain't gonna say anyone involved because I see where everybody was coming from. Like democracy is a thing, okay? So there was this guy. He basically had a character from this problematic M.U.G.E.N author who believes that only Japanese people are superior and everyone else suck ass. Yeah, you heard that right. I don't even remember this nigga's name. That's how it's gonna be. And because someone from the server actually has a character from him, people collectively believed because this dude was problematic, he deserved to get his character leaked. Like, if you being a bitch, you don't deserve to have your character private. Whoever has it should leak it right now. In which I sort of understand where they're coming from. Like, nigga, at this point, like, if you lame, you deserve to get your shit leaked, okay? And I'm gonna go more on that soon. But the issue is the person who had the character did not want to share it. Even though that dude was a xenophobic racist too, by the way, there was more to it. He was a xenophobic racist, and I think there was more to him. I just don't remember, but I think that was about the most talked about ones. When he was those things, the person did not want to comply. He just, even though they were telling him, dude, you gotta listen to the community, because there was a lot of people in that server collectively saying that, bro, the person you got that character from is not a good person, and you need to leak their shit, okay? Doesn't matter if you get blacklisted, because apparently there is a small community, I could be wrong, a small sub community where there are literally people making M.U.G.E.N characters for the sole reason of exchanging for other ones. Why? I don't know, but apparently that dude was part of it. And apparently, if you are a known leaker, like if you leak one character, apparently, and one person in the community finds out, it gets spread around like wildfire, and you're apparently blacklisted from that community because they know they can't trust your ass. But the thing is, which one you think is worse? Like getting shit, like getting basically flack and getting niggas on your ass and people voting for you to get banned. This is actually what happened over there for real. They were voting for this nigga to get banned if from the server if and literally blacklisted from the M.U.G.E.N community if he did not share if he did not release or leak this character from this problematic author, basically, right? And you would get blacklisted for M.U.G.E.N. Like, no, the M.U.G.E.N community, cheap community, basically. 'Cause that's what it was. Skyvesta is just the M.U.G.E.N cheapy community, the sub community of it. So because that happened, this dude still didn't want to leak the character. Now you could leave this up to interpretation. If you think that's wrong, that they was trying to pressure this nigga into leaking the character, that's you. I'm just saying I sort of understood why they did that. Like you're not supposed to keep stuff from problematic people. That's how they was thinking. I was like, I understand that. So because he didn't do that, because he really, I guess, probably was probably low key part of the community because this dude really didn't want to leak it. Cause I guess if he leaked it, he probably would be blacklisted from that community. So this dude had really a decision to make, and that was either to leak it or don't leak it. And either way, if he didn't leak it, he would get more shit coming his way anyway, and he'll get the worst treatment more than being a non-leaker because that's how it is. So he didn't leak it. Everybody voted for him to be banned. I actually banned him because I'm a mod there. So I banned him because that's what everybody voted on. This dude actually the day before gave me screenshots on why he didn't want to leak it, but that didn't really help his case. He was just showing why he didn't want to leak it. He said he didn't want any more problems, but it's like, dude, it's too late. You're gonna have problems anyway. There's gonna be people on your ass because you didn't want to leak this character. So it's whatever, man. So I blocked him. I blocked that man and I banned him from my server because honestly, man, them folks was making good points. You can't be keeping problematic characters from people. And I know there's gonna be people in the comments saying, but if it's that other dude's character, he should have the right to like give it to people he trusts and not leak it to y'all. And you're right about that, but this is a different case. I'm just saying. Um, now about leaked characters. Let's get to that since we already talked about somebody that needs to leak a character. Leaked characters is what you think it is. It's characters that is leaked. Like what else you thought it was? It's people that it's characters that are leaked from various of different ways. Like somehow someone managed to get it. Somehow people bought it. Like people bought the character, and if they didn't buy the character, they at least did an exchange, and then they sold it. Not sold it, but released it. Now, not much else to really say on lead characters because that's what they are. They're characters that were once private. Now they ain't private no more. Everybody and their mama playing with that character. But enough on that. Let me say my thoughts now. I'm gonna sum it up, okay? And then you're free to give your feedback. You're free to put your opinion. But I personally think private characters should be for real only leaked. Not leaked. Private killers should only for real be made when they're work in progress. I'm sorry. We have evolved past the need to make private characters private. But if you want to make private characters in the reasoning of just exchanging for other private characters, I'm not gonna judge you. Like, do what you want to do. You made that character, do what you gotta do. Just don't be problematic. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. But I will say this: I still stand on that. I'm gonna be standing on that. Like, that's the only reason why I think a character should be private. It should be private in case if it's a work in progress, or and that it's gonna be released soon, or if you use it to exchange for other shit. But for me, like I said, we are in 2025. I think we should just stop doing shit that's like 17, 15 years ago of making these rare or amazing characters people can't even play with because whatever. But like I said, I won't judge you if you admit to like, oh well, I make public characters to sell them, not sell them, but like to exchange for another one. Now, if you make if you make private characters to sell them, then nigga, I'm gonna judge you heavy. After all, I am the same person that had to spend $300 for a M.U.G.E.N character, which is sad, honestly. But it helped a lot of people, and that's why I did it. It's because I care about the M.U.G.E.N community, and people in Sky Vesta was like, "That's gonna be a historical thing. You're gonna be benefiting the community if you leak this character." So I did. I spent $300. Yes, it was me. I spent $300, which yes, I did get back because that shit was it was still a lackluster trash character for this character, and it wasn't even his too. Like when I saw the readme, it was somebody else's. It wasn't even Torino's, bro. So ain't that fucking something? That means I feel like he got that character from somebody in private, and then he did some shit to it, and then he sold it, which is scummy because the job market isn't that bad where you gotta resort to selling M.U.G.E.N characters. The reason why I would just side eye you and probably get on you for selling characters because M.U.G.E.N is a free fighting game. Electabite, yes, the niggas that made this shit let people know that this is for free. And all these assets you guys are seeing, the sprites, they're already from pre-existing video games and franchises, and overall they're sprites from somewhere else. They're not yours. So what you're doing is taking somebody else's shit. You didn't even ask their permission, and by the way, it's illegal. It's a legal thing you're doing, and you're selling them. And even though you didn't make them for a profit, which is dumb. You shouldn't be fucking doing that shit. That's why in that Torino video I was getting on him for that because it just doesn't make any sense to just do that. Now, the same thing will applies for people who are keeping once public characters that are now considered lost media private. M.U.G.E.N is around to this day because we all work together to archive everything. We don't need niggas in the community being like, "Oh, you guys wanted this character because it was lost. Well, too bad you're not gonna have it, oh, because because I'm lame as hell. I'm not. The reasons I'm not gonna leak is fucking stupid. Like seriously, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like if it's like more than ever, we don't even know what the future is looking like. And if we keep acting more like these people, there's not gonna be much left to preserve. But luckily, majority of us believe that we should preserve a lot of shit. Cause what you're seeing right now is all because people decide to make everything public. They're all listening to Electabite. They actually care about M.U.G.E.N and actually want to see it thrive for many years by archiving, preserving, and still making content for it. So if you're keeping once public characters private and you're selling characters, you lame as hell. You don't get any respect from me. I don't care who you are. You could be fucking, I don't know, Chad Gable. I don't care. You could be a celebrity. If you moving like this, I don't care, bro. You lose my respect. Okay? Cause this is something that's always been free. No need to make it paid. That's dumb. Now on leaked characters. Now, I know some people will say this is some controversial takes you're saying, but it's for a reason. Now, if you're a good person, I will say this to make shit balanced. If you're a good person with private characters and somebody leak your shit, then yeah, you don't deserve that. Cause you good, and if you're just part of the exchange community and you haven't done anything problematic and you're not selling characters, then and your shit gets leaked, then you don't deserve it to have that shit leaked. Like I'll feel bad for you a little bit, but then again, that That's something that comes with a risk when being in a community like this. You can't be, you know, having private stuff and announcing you have something private. People are going to want to get it, no matter if you problematic or not. That's something people gotta realize as well. So there's on that. See, that's some balance right there. Okay. Now for leaked shit, I 100% condone leaking sold previously sold characters or lost media characters. Why? Because preservation is important. Okay, preservation is very important. And if you bought a character with your own money, you deserve to leak because that's basically yours now. Basically, for real, that's the way it is. It's basically yours now. It's like buying a game and you're dumping the ROM on the community forums or something. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think of it as. It makes sense. That's what I did when I bought Execution. When I bought Execution, I thought of it as like, oh, I bought this thing for a game. I want everyone to enjoy it. So I leaked that whole because it's $300. Of course I'm gonna leak it. Why would I spend $300 for something that I probably ain't even gonna use that much? But if someone could benefit from it, then of course I leak that shit, and it's for a good reason. Because you shouldn't be selling M.U.G.E.N characters anyway. In fact, if you sell M.U.G.E.N characters, I really hope all your shit get leaked because there's actually a lot of legal, because what you're doing is illegal. There's a lot of legal ways to make money. Okay, side gigs, freelance work. Those are all ways you can make some money. There's even 1099 jobs that are hiring that you could work any time. That's a blessing right there. That's a God given blessing that you can literally just just work side gigs. Niggas are door dashing like crazy. You know? But yeah, that's what I think on private and leaked characters. If you selling characters, you lame. If you keeping once public stuff private, you lame. Because if that was once public, you need to leave it public. Okay? It's that simple. Because remember, I want everyone to go on the way back machine and realize Electabite never ever said, oh, go sell M.U.G.E.N characters. We're okay with that. No, if they came back, they would have been mad as shit. They would have been getting on everybody's asses saying, why the fuck some of y'all selling M.U.G.E.N characters? Bro, this is a 2D fighting game engine we made for fun. We don't need niggas. Like, we don't need niggas selling M.U.G.E.N characters or keeping shit private, bro. Like, Electabite will literally tell y'all niggas that shit is illegal. And if you don't believe me that it's illegal, or if after this video you gonna stop selling, that's good. If you don't believe me it's illegal, just Google it. Just Google it, or ask ChatGPT, because I know y'all do that. Is selling M.U.G.E.N characters illegal? They're gonna tell you is illegal, okay? And I'm gonna read it, cause I Google, cause I'm gonna do that. Electabite's license. See, this is what I'm talking about. How they gonna really get on y'all if they was active again. Electabite's license explicitly prohibits commercial distribution, any use of the official M.U.G.E.N executable for profit that violates their terms. If you don't know what the fuck that means anything you sell, you try to sell from M.U.G.E.N, your ass is doing something illegal. Okay? I get it, rent is high, bills are due, you trying to survive, but there is so much better ways to make money. I am dead serious. We are in a time more than ever. You can make money damn near doing pretty much anything if you put your mind to it. Now, the only exception is that if you're creating characters like original characters completely from scratch without ripping sprites, animation, or code from existing copyrighted works, you can sell them legally. So maybe hopefully I can make y'all niggas get more creative or something. But just so you know, it's illegal, okay? It's a crime, alright? Cause what you're doing is, and then the worst part is, the worst part is I see niggas selling King of Fighters characters, and it's like, dude, that's still illegal because the work is still protected by copyright and trademark. Even if you modify them, selling them for profit likely counts as infringement, especially when the work is clearly recognizable or accurate. Okay, so you could get a KO and add all these crazy effects and edits, but if Sync sees that shit, you getting sued, ho, which you deserve it. That being said, I think I already said my thoughts, but if you don't get it by now, I think private characters, as long as you're not selling them, as long as it's not previously public characters, they're fine. But like they're fine. Dang, he killed this nigga in an instant. Anyways, but if it's leaked, and leaking characters, let me think. Okay, if you're leaking characters that was once being sold and was once and was once like lost, that's okay. But if we're just exchanging private characters, that's fine. But my mentality gonna stay the same. I personally think characters shouldn't be private at all. But if it's a work in progress, I ain't gonna get on you though. That's actually, like, in my eyes, that's actually the most valid reason why a character would be private. But either way, I said what I said. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think I should change my mind on something? Do you think I'm forgetting something? Do you have any thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, talk to y'all later.